What's up, boys? Welcome back to a new Alphastar video. Today we have the Zerg GrandMaster player against our boy Alphastar in the top left. Of course, this is the Protoss version. We've seen him before in this map. I wouldn't be surprised to see similar things. Just some Oracle openings, perhaps. Into some quick disruptors, some early base taking, lots of workers, absolutely lots of workers, no safety. But you know, if you don't risk it, you don't get the biscuit. That's the motto of this Alphastar, at least in PvZ. So he's always very late with his robotics. And we get our initial gateway down in a interesting location, I would say. This is not a location that you often see a gateway in, as usually you either see him on the complete wall on the side, on the complete wall on the bottom, or you put it 3 hexes away from the top. This is 2 hexes, which means you either need to put 2 units in this wall here, or you need to throw down a pylon. Usually you don't want to build pylons in walls, as they're weak spots, especially against bailing busts. So we'll see how we'll finish that wall off. I'm actually kind of curious to see that. On the other hand, we have our Zerg player just opening up with a standard hatchery first. Now, this map, we have to note that there are areas here which are very accessible for oracles, easy to fly by, difficult for queens to defend all of these areas from oracle flyby. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of damage from oracles. Perhaps some early adept shenanigans, as not as good on this map. It's usually, if you open with 2 or 3 adepts, you want to have some space where you can move around that isn't creep, so the queens can't attack you as easily, but still possible to open like that, of course. If your opponent isn't paying attention properly, bam, your adepts just might get 4 or 5 workers and put you in a lovely lead. Now we do have Alphastar here continuing his wall. I believe this can be walled by 1 more gateway or by a pylon over here. And then we still have a 2 hex hole on the top side. So once again, very curious to see how he will deal with this. He does open up with an adept first, and most likely will follow that up with the Stargate. Here we go. Probe builds the Stargate. And yep. Warp gate will start after, of course. Usually delay that warp gate so you can start the Stargate faster, as a faster oracle is more important than a faster warp gate. Usually tosses don't really do too much with that warp gate. So we see Alphastar move out, shade back into their main base, and just continue walking forward. So I don't think we're going to see much of a move out at all, I guess. I'm very confused, as there is 2 chrono boosts on the adepts, and there's a 3rd adept rallied up as well. And this kind of indicates that he does want to move out. And here comes the shade forward. 2 links are coming for a run by. We'll be able to get into the main base and should be able to spot this Stargate as well. Now, our Zerg player does have speed on the way. I believe this will be the 3rd queen. We have 1 creep tumor already, 2nd creep tumor being put down. How many links is there right now? There's 4 links on the map, 2 on this side, 2 on the other side, and there's 6 more links on the way. So the way you want to do this, you want to push these 2 adepts away with your queens and then leave your links in the main base. Oh, links walking a bit too far. Adept shade does finish, and we'll be able to get a bunch of workers with this. Good micro here by Alphastar, honestly. We'll be able to get, I believe, 5? Yes, 5 workers do go down and gets a ling or 2 as well. 2nd adept does end up falling, but 2 adepts for 5 workers in this phase of the game is actually a very, very good trade. We see a very fast spore from our Zerg player as well. And this wall is extremely bad. Look at this. This is not a wall at all. This is extremely vulnerable for ling run bys. We see this pylon on the bottom here. This is not tight, is it? Oh, Alphas. I'm 90% sure this isn't tight, but the Zerg isn't realizing it. He definitely, yeah, okay, this definitely wasn't tight. He would have been able to run in, which would have been very annoying. However, Alphastar is getting a 3rd base. We'll be able to, actually won't be able to get that up. In the meantime, we have this Oracle trying to do some damage. Did manage to get 1 worker kill. 2nd Oracle comes here with the 2 adepts and the 2nd Oracle. He should be able to take this 3rd base. There is 2 gateways. There is 2 more gateways on the way, as these adepts finally, or these Zerglings finally do run into the main base. There's no robotics facility yet, so playing a little unsafe in case of some roach all-in would be very difficult to hold without immortals. But as he has continued Oracle production, perhaps he's completely fine against Roach all-ins. He's like, you know what, you come with the Roaches, I'll have 3-4 Oracles ready, and good luck for you, my friend. You have +1 Ling attacks on the way, ground attack, ground melee attack on the way for the Zerg player. Here finally comes the robotics facility, while we see a big influx of links coming here. 16 links on the way, 18 links on the way, there's also Baneling Nest. So this is going to be some dark-like pressure. We've seen this a lot at BlizzCon, where dark, a lot of the time from 45, 46, sometimes a little higher, 51, 52 workers would build a big round of Zerglings and try for some kind of bust on the third base. Now, at the same time, of course, we have the Oracles going in to try and do some damage. One Oracle does fall. How many workers did we get? 13 workers in total already, so that's some good damage. We see 51 workers against 36. 8 more workers are on the way for our Zerg player. 13 workers are on the way. These Oracles still have too much energy though. I don't think these links will be able to get done what they desire, which most likely is they just want to cancel that third. Oh, actually do get into the main base. +1 isn't done yet. Splits up the links rather nicely. These links should be able to get 4 or 5 worker kills, I believe. I mean, there's an Oracle here, but a couple of workers always do end up falling in these kind of situations. 4 Adepts do finish their shade on the other side of the map, so a lot of stuff happening at the same time. Let's see if Alphastar is capable of keeping up. Lose a bunch of workers in the main base while killing a bunch of links on the other side of the map. Please do note these are Adepts without glaives, so they won't be killing workers too fast. Bad target fire by the Queen on the one Adept with a lot of health. Should be able to clean this up, and honestly at the end of this roller coaster we have 9 workers killed for the Zerg and 17 for the Protoss. It looks to transition into a rather even game, honestly. A decent enough early game, late 4th base I have to admit, but good upgrades as we have +2 already on the way. We have a decent worker count. Gases are a little late, but if he in theory goes into Roachling Bane, he should be kind of fine. We still have 3 Oracles, or well, 3 Oracles again, as he rebuilt an Oracle, and now is building a 5th Oracle, even though he only has 3 remaining. Of course, he lost 1. Another big Adept chain into the 3rd base will be a cancel, as he decides to just right-click this 4th base. If he gets a cancel on this 4th base, this would be very bad, as the Zerg really needs to start getting more drones, needs to get up to 75, 76 drones, and need to get a secondary tech, as just pure Ling Bane won't be sufficient, I believe. He's gonna need either Hydras or he's gonna need Ravagers, or at least some Roaches added. Another big shade of these Adepts into that 3rd base will be a cancel once again, as he sees the link count, he sees the +1. Here we go. A little bit of a weird engagement with the links into the Adepts, but with +1 links are so powerful, and they are completely capable of killing all of these Adepts. One Adept actually stays alive. We'll get 1 or 2 more worker kills, but not that big of a deal. And now we see that worker count starting to rise finally a little bit. Still feel like it's too low on 67. We really need to see higher worker counts, like 75, 78. I mean, Alphastar already is at 74. His 4th base is almost done. So here we have a Protoss that's actually ahead in workers, which is extremely rare. So also once again heading into that weird Disruptor Stalker composition while he researched Charge. Not getting Blink as of yet. +2 is on the way as well, so he will be getting even in upgrades within the next minute or 2, minute and a half. +1 air weapon start. This is a very, very interesting decision, as I don't really see any possibility for a transition yet, nor do I see the need. I mean, here we have a Zerg who's on 60 workers. He's practically all in. There's 3 extra hatcheries on the way. 1, 2, 3. Keep misclicking. Here we go, the 3rd hatchery. Here we have another big Ling run by with +2 as well, and don't forget these Zealots do have +1, so it's nice for the Protoss, but there's a lot of Lings in his main base all of a sudden, and these Lings will be able to do a lot of damage. Oracles will be trying to help out the Zealots in the main base, and will actually be able to do a lot. Some Disruptor shots mainly hitting his own Zealots. Honestly, this did way less than I thought it would. I really thought Alphastar would be getting way bigger worker losses, so maybe he just leaves the wall open to kind of trick his opponent in sending Zerglings in there. As we still see the Zerg 57 workers, 56 workers. Wait, what's happening? Did he lose workers somehow? Oh, he just built a spire. Total 23 workers killed for the Zerg and only 18 for Alphastar, but the Zerg just refuses to build more workers. Still stuck on 62 workers. While he's on 5 bases and 7 hatcheries, I believe. DTs finally hit the field as well. Overseers are being built, and it's finally that drone count will start rising. Alphastar somehow realizing that there might be a Muta switch. I have no clue how he knows. It's absolutely wild. He did not scout the Spire, just starts Phoenixes. I guess this is the kind of experience or the weird kind of read that only Alphastar can make. We still have only +2. We have +3 on the way, but no blink yet, and we have, quite honestly, the weirdest army composition I've seen in my life. We have what? 3 Stalkers, 1 Immortal, 9 Zealots, 2 Archons, 2 Phoenixes, 4 Oracles, and 5 Disruptors. Like, this army, in my mind, does not synergize together very well, but apparently in Alphastar's mind it synergizes really well together, as 4 Oracles will come in. The Oracle hit squad has been doing so much work this game already. We'll be able to snipe out 2 more Queens, and a couple more drones will fall. This Zerg is super rich, by the way. It actually has a lot of money left over, and I guess that will be going into those Mutalisks, as there is 8 gas as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go into 10 gas. And now those 2 Phoenixes will be extremely useful. But even though Alphastar has been so dominant all game long, he's almost no anti-air. Like, the only anti-air he has are these, well, these DTs, the 2 Archons he has, and I guess the potential Archons with the DTs, as he warps in 4 more DTs, which will morph into Archons immediately, by the way. Yeah, there we go, 10 gas. So a massive gas count for our Zerg player, who keeps adding more and more Mutalisks. 9 out already, 20 more on the way. So we'll be going up to 29 Mutalisks, as well as the +1 Muta or flyer attack. A couple of Banelings being built, but Alphastar somehow smells this out, moves across the map, and I believe this is barely enough Archons to deal with a Muta count this high. Now, ideally what the Zerg will do is you snipe the Prism as soon as possible, and then you deal with the Archons, and then you kill the rest with your Mutas, right? So that's really the main priority here, is dealing with that Prism. But if there's so many Archons very close to you, then maybe you feel like it's necessary to actually deal with the Archons first. Prism does stay alive for a little longer, which is annoying, as he will be able to warp in, I guess, well, a couple more DTs. Yeah, and if more and more Archons keep being added in, I don't think the Zerg will ever be able to do it. You might be able to deal with those 4 Archons, but Zealots at the same time absolutely destroying every single worker. Still a lot of Mutas, 24 Mutas, but Archons keep being added. The Prism is still here. If he would have sniped the Prism immediately, that would have been -3 Archons. And imagine all of these Mutas against just 4 Archons. That actually would have been kind of doable. I mean, eventually he would kill it. There's no other anti-air except Archons, basically. Like, you snipe 1-2 Archons here. Problem is that the Prism stayed alive for way too long, and now we have more Stalkers being warped in for more consistent damage as well. Another Archon is being mismicroed and does die, so we still have 4 Archons remaining and 12 Stalkers, but Alphastar really needs to be a little bit more careful with his units, honestly. His micro is good with the Prism, but there's some random Archons sometimes just chasing the Mutas, which just die immediately. 4 more Stalkers are being warped in, there's still no blink, but yeah, the Muta count won't grow too much more now, as basically 2 out of the 4 mining bases have been taken out. There's only 49 workers remaining. Alphastar is still on 4 bases. In theory, Alphastar can just go back home. But what I will do, I obviously keep pushing, as it's difficult to deal with Mutas if you don't have blink, you don't have big Phoenix count. And I think this is kind of going to be a Hail Mary play as well from our Grandmaster Zerg player, who will be diving into another Archon. We will be going for the second Archon, and GG's out, and Alphastar wins this game as well. So very interesting ZVP style here, which I honestly haven't seen before, with the massive Oracle count and then into the weird Disruptor transition. But for some reason he always seems to have the right units in the right place. So good job for that, Alphastar. I'm very proud of you. Alright boys, I see you all next time. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to comment, like or subscribe. And next Alphastar video next week on Friday. Tomorrow another beating Grandmaster with stupid stuff. So see you boys then. Bye bye.